Hello, many thanks for joining us here on yet another episode of the Candid Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evans Okenyi. I'm glad that you're here with us this day, and of course I'm here with Professor Herman. How are you, sir?
Good.
How is it going?
Wonderful.
Yes. How are you boys at the boys and girls at the university?
They are doing well. They are doing well. Very happy that they are being able to read at the university. Yeah. But they are in solidarity with the fellow Kenyans who are suffering.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so I understand some of them are also lamenting that right now they cannot even read. In fact,
It is.
they're also hungry. They can't even.
When you go to class, when you are teaching students these days, you can notice these are hungry people. And unknown to some people is the fact that reading is a very serious undertaking. To engage in the serious business of learning, of seeking knowledge and giving knowledge, it's more demanding than going to the shamba with a djembe. You need a lot of energy to go through a lecture, both as a lecturer and as a student. You need a lot of energy. Yes.
A number of them are even complaining that they haven't even received the disbursement of their HAB loans, and actually with how things are right now in the country, economy, in such a kind of shambolic state, and they're wondering, really, does the government really care for us?
The worst mistake we made was to jump students from being taken care of the way we were taken care of to a situation where the IMF and the World Bank told us, let students pay for their meals. That's the worst mistake we made. Adults cannot manage their budgets. How can young people manage their budgets with little monies around? And then another bad mistake we have made, we have expanded the HELP loan to give it to just about anybody. And therefore spreading so thin that we do not give students enough money. Currently, you need to give students enough money to survive on as a loan. Those who deserve. And those who don't deserve should not get the loan.
They are wondering because they were told actually that these loans be the help would be a grant and actually not a loan, that perhaps they wouldn't pay. But here they are right now. It's not, leave alone the part that it's not even a grant, but then it's not being disbursed at the right time. And so they're like, oh, tulichezwa manini.
And there are people going around that task force on education. They are just jokers. Education in Kenya should be free. And I've said this repeat, I don't want to go through it again.
Yeah, but by the way, Prof, something is taking place in the country, and the First Lady of the United States of America, Jill Biden, is actually visiting our country. And I saw that the Terminal 2 of JKIA will be closed on Friday and on Sunday, actually, to facilitate the movement of this lady here. And I was, a number of Kenyans were reacting and asking, surely, what are we doing as a nation when we give such kind of attention to these people? Do we have to close a whole terminal because the wife of the president of the United States of America is in the country?
She's even laughing. If she knows, she would laugh. What's wrong with these people?
But anyway,
she comes from a background where people are, they don't show off, they are simple. Of course, they say where Air Force One lands, that place automatically becomes America. But there are small countries that can't allow them to do that. You know, you need to have some pride in yourself, some dignity. Those of us whose race was pushed into slavery and the atrocities that we went through, brought by slave trade and slavery itself. How our people build the civilizations, the economies of America and the rest. We should be very hesitant when we are relating with a white person in a manner to suggest we loved what happened to us during slave trade and slavery. In a manner to suggest we were happy that we were even slaves. We must be very cautious. When a white person comes around, we must relate with those white people, fully cognizant of our history. And we need to have some pride and dignity in ourselves. I mean, we must not allow ourselves to paint a picture of people who are very happy to be slaves and would do anything possible to continue being slaves. So when a white lady comes, we should welcome her very well. She's a wife of a most powerful man on earth. But surely we should not lie on our bellies for her to walk on over our bodies. No, that's not what you do. You need to have some pride. Offer security to the lady. It's good. She's a good visitor, high-profile visitor. But you need to close your airport. I saw somebody from Israel was here, and the town was almost coming to a standstill. Israel Prime Minister. I was in the studio, I think, one of these studio TV stations, and I said, "This is bad. What do we tell our children?"
Now my question comes here, Prof. We also have our first lady in the country, Rachel Ruto, of course. Do you think if she decides to pay a courtesy call to the United States, she would be actually, could the terminal over there be closed just because the first lady of our country
has said on Twitter, leave alone President Ruto. When all African heads of state were there recently in the US-Africa summit, which airport was closed? Which terminal was closed? All the African heads of state. And when the burial, look, you know, Africans, our leaders are embarrassing us. When the burial of the Queen was taking place recently, African heads of state were carried by bus. Wanarusha kwa bus, wanaenda kwa matanga, tena wanakaa mbali. Lakini mtu akikuja, mtu mkubwa, a president from another country, limousine, security up to the venue, right at the center of the venue. Our presidents were all ferried by bus. Why? Why are they bringing this shame and embarrassment to Africans? Until you have belief in yourself, until you are proud to be who you are, you can never do anything for yourself as a people. And that's why I celebrate people who fought racial segregation during the civil rights movement in America, including musicians like Jim Brown, who sang "I'm Black and Proud," who said we've been talked of as if it takes a pair of us to make one eye. That is what these people are returning us. In a world, people like Jim Brown, Martin Luther King, and the rest, they fought so hard for the dignity of the black man. And our African presidents are returning us right there, where the black man is a monkey, is an ape. Protect the lady. She deserves all the protection, all the honor. She should be received like loyalty because she's the president's wife, the wife to the president of the United States of America. Receive her, protect her, dignified reception, everything. But don't turn Kenyans into slaves. Don't remind Kenyans of the past they went through under white people. It's so bad. It's extremely bad. And I don't think even those people are happy. I don't think they're even happy to see you doing those kind of things. Imagine the Israel Prime Minister was here and Nairobi was brought to a standstill. Roads were closed. What have you? Yeah. And yet if our president went there, they may not even know he's there. Then you're asking whether Rachel Ruto will go to America and they know. They will not even have an idea. I saw when Obama, was it Obama? Which president was it? Was it Obama? Yeah, when Obama came here, is it Obama or some one of those?
It was Obama who came here.
And people were queuing. So I don't know to do what. Two instances. One, a cabinet secretary went to Kasarani where Obama was speaking. She had forgotten the card. She was chased away. Cabinet secretary. Hakuingia. Go away. Another one, a man who was in charge of the police, airport police, Kiari, I think, what was his, Keraide, whatever he was called. He tried to walk. He was, the man in charge of police at the airport could not cross a certain line. Why do you allow that to happen to you? America presidents go places where people are proud.
Now then, here comes my question. Why do you think, what is the fuss with our presidents? Like, why do you think they are so much hell-bent in trying to please the West and trying to please all these people when they come to the country, yet when they go overseas, then it's the vice versa?
It is simple. You have two sets of people. You have your people who are Africans, if you are an African leader. You have your people who are citizens of a country like Kenya. And you have the white people. And the white people, not the people, not the Americans, not the British, but the leadership of that country. The business, it is actually more of business than anything else. So that the political leadership in America and the rest of these countries are there the whims of the business community. Not this Nairobi business community, but the business, the really people, the industrialists. So that America would go to war, not because they must go to war, because the arms have not been selling. The arms manufacturers will want America to go to war or cause a war to be in Ukraine or something like that. These are facts we know. They have been documented. So if you are with your people and you are the president, you can tell off those people. But if you are on the side of the white man, the businessman from Japan, from China, you can then not be on the side of the people and you cannot do the people's bidding. So you are there grinning like a sheep to please. Have you seen white black African presidents fighting for a photo opportunity with a Chinese president, the Chinese president? Or have you seen how they struggle and how they grin, looking like sheep, just to have a photo opportunity with the Chinese president or with American president or something like that? Then Africans will never get anywhere. Africa, the land of the greatest potential in the world today, with the hugest deposit of minerals, with the natural forests and everything you can talk about, with the most youthful population. Africa, the land of potential, is a beggar in the world because the presidents of these countries want to perpetuate slavery among their people in the way they relate with foreigners. There ought to be mutual respect between an American president and a Kenyan president. I like when Uhuru was almost going head to head, toe to toe with Obama. You know? That's the kind, you feel proud when your president stands tall. So when some lady comes and everything must come to a stop, that's not the Africa we need. We need an Africa that will not slide back into slavery. The way things are going, Africa is sliding back into slavery. When they cannot even do the smallest of things, when we cannot even put up toilets in our country, the Chinese must do that. When we cannot even put up small things, and we depend on foreigners, on aid, even on very useless things we can do ourselves. We can't even take care of the destitutes we have created in the streets of Nairobi. So white people might come and create women, children's home. They are pedophiles, you know, engage in all manner of atrocity, bad things with our children because they have set up. What are you talking about? We must get out of this as Africans. The African must find it mandatory, a must-do thing to lead a reawakening of Africa with all the potential we have. Actually, the world will be looking up to Africa in the next 20 years for everything. Yeah, Africa will be the leader because we have everything. Look at countries like Japan, aging populations. Do you know people who sell napkins, diapers? You call them diapers. You people used to be napkins. Tunaosha, na tunatumia tena na pin. Now you disposal. It's how the world is changing. In Japan, they sell diapers, those napkins, more to older people than to children. These are aging populations. Many European countries cannot reproduce themselves because they will tell you the ratio at which you must reproduce to maintain your race.
And that is actually what they're trying to influence.
So,
the other side.
because they know Africa is going to lead the world, they are doing everything possible, including planting it in your head that you are useless, you are an animal, So when you close that airport, it is reinforcing that thinking that we are actual apes, we are monkeys. A human being has come. Because it is necessary for the white people to keep us with the mindset that we are nothing, we are rubbish, we are useless, we can't do anything. So they are done in very subtle ways, like when you close your airport, because the wife of the President of America has come, whom we should receive with dignity, well, and protect. But they are rubbing it in. They are trying to show you you are actually useless. The African must be made aware that he is worth nothing. They must spoil your education. Because with the youthful education population, with the penetration of education in Africa today, with the rising populations in Africa, look at East Africa, the East African region alone. It's a huge market. Now getting huger than Europe. With youthful people, with the penetration of education with colleges and educated people with degrees and diplomas. That's a huge, huge market. If this market becomes an enlightened market, Europe is in trouble. So they must destroy your education. They bring you CBC. All these bad things they are bringing. But the African must wake up.
And unfortunately, our leaders are playing along to this.
They are they are participants in the destruction of the African. Because he that wants to destroy you must go through your mind.
And somebody was asking, what if now it's a president's wife that is, what if Joe Biden himself was in the country?
It is be another trouble. We would not even be here. They would think we are planning to...
Everything would come to stand still in the country.
What scares the rest of the world is what Steve Biko in South Africa was leading, which is black consciousness. Black consciousness is what scares the West more than anything else. So in order to make sure that doesn't happen, nobody ever thinks we are human beings. These little things like what you are seeing now must be put in place to reinforce that thinking, the belief that we are actually not worth anything. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it from Professor Herman Manyora here, actually articulating issues that are very pertinent to us in the country and in the continent at large. We are waiting for Jill Biden to be in the country, but as he says here, let us accord her the respect that she deserves, but we should not actually bend as low as we are doing in trying to please the West, because that will definitely come with its consequences as well. Africa should stand because we are great and we are up to the task as well. Allow me to stop at this point. Do not fail to tune into our programs that will be coming up next. We have Siasa Brigade and Business Glide. All those are shows that are hosted here by Richard Mwenja. And of course, Jarel Kabiro coming up with political conversations. That is always here with Professor Herman Manyora. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a very lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.